Do you like trying new food and shopping in port? If so, Crete won't disappoint. Out of our 7 port stops on our 9-night cruise, we bought more items on our last stop than any other port. We found very little info on Crete when researching on our cruise, so we wanted to give you the easy process to make this port memorable and stress-free.
Because we had a shorter day, what we found was, well, we kind of only had maybe 2 things that we could really do in the time allotted if we wanted to not book an excursion through the cruise line. Most of the research that we did find offered outdoor activities such as hiking and going to very well-known historical sites, lots of beautiful nature things to do. But because of our time constraint, we could not do this.
No one talked about how to get to Old Town, and it couldn't have been easier. This is a stop that Royal Caribbean offers an excursion and offers a shuttle bus directly from port into Old Town, Chania.
This was something that Royal Caribbean did a very good job of communicating the night before over the main speaker system and letting us know, hey, we're offering a shuttle. So it was actually very convenient and nice for us. There was a handful of taxis waiting outside the next morning, but the shuttle to us was kind of a no-brainer, especially because you got a guaranteed ride, and $10 round trip is not bad.
Yes, it is only €10 per person round trip, and you can purchase the day of as you exit the ship on your way out with a SeaPass card.
So because we used our SeaPass card, they had our names and knew that we were part of that group. So we knew that there was a little bit of a better chance, if not a guaranteed chance, that, hey, we're not going to get left. They know we're off the ship and need to get back on time.
As Mrs. TFC had mentioned, we had limited time in port. Gangway down was at 7:30 a.m. and all aboard was at 2:30 p.m. We actually slept in and didn't set an alarm, which ended up kind of being a blessing because we didn't get off the ship and onto the first shuttle bus until 10:30 a.m. We learned later in the day that if you didn't get off right at 7:30 a.m. until 8 a.m., some people waited up to an hour just to get on the shuttle to get into town.
So from talking to other passengers, there was really kind of a sweet spot between the super early people and the kind of really late people, and we just accidentally hit it just right. But we did hear that if you were really the very, very, very first ones, it was very nice and quiet and the towns were not busy at all. But if you waited too late, it was a monsoon of people.
Now, if you happen to visit Chania and you purchase a shuttle bus ticket, remember there's also those taxis. I did see some individuals apparently that purchased the shuttle but elected to go with the taxi because it's only $12 to $15, dropped you off right in Old Town, as opposed to where we were dropped off. We had about a 15-minute walk after our 20-minute shuttle ride.
So essentially we were dropped right outside of, I took a picture of it and we'll show you, but it was essentially like a war museum, which was also their shuttle stop. And it wasn't too difficult. I did put it in my Google Maps. I did use the live maps instead of offline just to make sure they were extremely accurate. It was just not working quite right, which was okay. I did have good service. It just sucks the battery, which was the only reason why I elected to use offline a little bit more. Regardless, it was about a 10-minute walk and we were following the masses of people, but I did confirm it that we were going the right direction, and it really wasn't easy. The walk, however, the area from port to the town is a little dismal and kind of sad, unfortunately. But when you get to the old town, it's quite lovely.
So between using the wife's phone, which has T-Mobile service and a great reception, and following the crowds of people, as well as some signs, we were able to make our way fairly easy. Now, as soon as we entered the shopping area, we were really surprised by how many different places there were.
Now, as we've mentioned in the other port stops that we've been in, the shopping/souvenir adventures have been kind of all over the place. Some places were wonderful, some places were disappointing and chintzy. This one, to me, was the most unique in that it had more variety. There was a variety of all different kinds of shops. It wasn't the same stuff in every store. And I wish I would have gotten up earlier because for whatever reason, the last stop ended up being the jackpot for me.
Yeah, the first stop that we ended up finding was not too far down the very first street. It was Klimastaki's leather store. and they had a great selection of handmade in Greece sandals and women's shoes.
They were very reasonable on price, but what was the best thing was the customer service. In a lot of these ports, you'll find that, and I understand that it is kind of a thing, they tend to follow you around the store sometimes because they are worried about theft. It happens, I get it. They're just worried. And this person did not bother us at all. She was extremely helpful. She helped me with the conversions on the sizing because it is European sizes listed. If they didn't have it, she ran upstairs and grabbed me another size. Super, super nice.
Now, of course, we asked for a discount. And, well, what if we buy multiple pairs? The largest discount was going to be offered was €5, which apparently they have the better prices than other competitors, and that seemed to be the case compared to the previous 6 ports we visited. However, we did end up purchasing how many pair again?
It was 3, but they're really cute.
And sandals, they're functional, so it's all good. As soon as we left there, and by the way, she actually gave us €6 discount. Yay. But as soon as we left there, we found another store right next door, a swimsuit store. And since we weren't all hot and sweaty, it was a lot easier for Mrs. TFC to try on some swimwear.
Now for me, I do not usually buy things for myself, but it is very hard for me to find nice swimsuits that I feel comfortable in. And again, the customer service was phenomenal. She was extremely helpful. She helped me pick out patterns and different cuts that would fit me the best. And she was very, polite and trying to help me and bring me new sizes if I needed it. Best customer service, again, hands down. Ladies, they also offered some lingerie upstairs, which, however, we did not get to see, but I did get the website, so I'll be shopping online.
This is the first time hearing of this. If I would have heard about it earlier, we probably would have gone upstairs. Just saying.
I have the website. It's okay.
Okay, and here's the website on the screen for you. Swimsuits on average offered, they're within about €4, so about 85 to €89 for a top and bottom set. They did have this lovely men's section as well, but since I haven't been entering the Sexiest Man or the belly flop contest lately, I didn't think this European cut was for me. But what do you think? Would you wear a European cut?
And ladies, if you've done any swimsuit shopping and you go for quality, 30 to 40 per piece is a good price. So I didn't feel like it was out of the proper range. And because it was beginning of swimsuit season, she was not able to give a discount, which is 100% understandable.
This and our very last stop that we'll talk about here in a moment is literally the only places that we didn't get a discount on our entire 9-night cruise. So just ask, negotiate, and if you have euros, typically you can get even a better deal because euros are better than the credit card fees that they pay. Now, I was getting hungry, just like I'm getting hungry now on our last night cruise with the luggage in the background. But before we found a place to eat, we had to walk along the beautiful waterfront, which I'll let the wife talk about because she likes picturesque scenes from movies.
So, if you're going along and you're self-navigating, if you simply type in the lighthouse of Chania, it's so easy. You're brought right to the waterfront. There is a pathway that loops around where you can walk right up to the lighthouse. It's, not too far away. It seemed like an easy walk. There's all kinds of cute little fishing boats right there. We even saw a super yacht sitting in port, and there's just a ton of restaurants and shops. They offered carriage rides to do tours. They had lots of little pop-up things to offer tours and things, and they seemed very reasonably priced. We did take some pictures of what they were offering. We did not have time, obviously, to do any of these, but we so would have if we would have had the time.
Yes, I would have loved to take a carriage ride like we do whenever we visit Charleston, or maybe even do the glass bottom boat, because this water was just a beautiful turquoise blue that you could see through so easily.
You could see it right to the bottom. You could see the rocks. It was very beautiful. Lots of people were taking pictures. And if we would have had time, we would have walked along the entire waterfront. We just did not have the time because of the shuttle.
And Mrs. Tips is the one that saw the gyro place right away. I would have loved to sit and eat it, but we want to be back 1 full hour before the last boarding shuttle. So we want to be at the shuttle stop at 1 p.m. instead of the last pickup time of 2 p.m. because I don't like to stress. She saw we made a beeline directly there, and I couldn't believe it, but the chicken or pork gyro was €3.90. Are you kidding me? Yes, give me a few. After talking to him though, I figured out that they offer lamb, and we hadn't had a lamb gyro yet, and we wanted a lamb gyro. So we got a large lamb gyro for €9. And yes, I did share, but that's a whole nother story.
So this particular place was very simply called Gyro or Hero, however you say it, Chania. So very simple name, simple price. They were so busy, but they had it down to a science. It was in, out, here you go. It was very good. Probably one of the best ones we've had. I will say compare it to Athens. Athens was still probably the best.
Athens was the best, maybe, because I got to sit down and just really enjoy and absorb it. But I figure the last one was always your best.
This one I'll equate to street food, but it was good street food. And we inhaled it. It was delicious. Highly recommend it. And it would have been cool to have maybe some more menu items, but again, we had a time restraint.
Okay, I'm seriously getting hungry and it's almost time for dinner. So let's move on to the last shopping stop that we made, which we weren't even going to do because we have to get back. Okay, but of course, Mrs. Tips is window shopping and sees this beautiful dress.
So all around Greece, you'll see these stores specializing in linen items, linen shirts, linen dresses, linen pants. It's like a whole linen thing over there in Greece. But this particular store, again, as we've said, check the labels. They were actually made in Greece, not Pakistan, not Indonesia, not Bali, not China, but Greece. Very, very quality, very soft. Some of the best linen items I've seen so far.
And if you're getting quality tips from us, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps YouTube to let other cruisers like you know to share it with them as well.
So we will put the website below. I liked that they had a website because now I know I can go and I can order more. I found some really good products that I definitely want. The dress, I got the pants, now I want the dress.
She's wearing those to dinner tonight, so I'll be sure to snap a photo as well. Okay, we moved on real quickly. Great customer service. I heard her not give a discount to someone else, so I didn't even ask, but I should have asked still because maybe she would have given us. All right, so it's approaching 1 o'clock, coming up quickly, and we weren't 100% sure how to get back because on our tickets, it actually said, meet by the clock tower. Really? But the bus driver said, meet back here. So we found a Royal Caribbean excursion person who knows how much they spent on this. We didn't. And we just asked them, oh yeah, it's the same spot. And we followed them. So while they had a group of people and we moved a little bit slower, we were sure to make our way back to the correct place.
So I will say the clock tower was there. It did exist. But there was a lot of construction going on right in front of it. So our unofficial theory is perhaps that was the original location, but we're not 100% sure. However, again, we followed the excursion group. Always a good idea. If you see the stickers, the stickers they hand out for the excursions, always a good idea to just kind of follow along with them or just ask the person leading the group. You will get at least better information. We have had misinformation. But again, our shuttle driver said, I'll pick you up right here. And that is exactly what happened. So I did snap a photo of where we were dropped so that maybe I could at least type in an address if we just absolutely were bombarded. And I will point out, in the Royal Caribbean app, there is a section that offers a phone number. If you get concerned or lost or stuck, you can call that number for help.
Now, we got back just a little after 1, thinking we're going to beat the rush and not be the last minute. How wrong could we have been? There's over 200 people in line and it wrapped around the block. Luckily, it only took about 25 minutes for us to be able to board. And we were even able to board one of the smaller 20 people, big conversion type vans, as opposed to big coach buses. Now, traffic was a mess getting back, so it took a little bit longer, and we didn't actually get back to port until a little after 2, and all aboard was 2:30. When we actually boarded the ship, it was 2:15. I couldn't believe how close we cut it, closest we've ever cut it in our entire lives. However, later we were upstairs eating at Playmakers, which ended up being a great decision, having a campfire cookie, which is the best dessert you can find on a Royal Caribbean ship, overlooking all the waters in the bay. So if you ever hear that when you have an early boarding, be sure to go to Playmakers because Windjammer closes at 3 p.m. and it is a hot mess in there. We get to watch a beautiful sail away.
So again, everyone that got on at 2 or 2:30 ran to the Windjammer, and we overheard another passenger say it was an absolute madhouse. Everyone was trying to get something to eat before dinner because they were hungry from not having lunch. It was a mess. Go to some of the other offerings and get something to eat.
So when you visit Crete, don't overlook it and make sure this is an alarm clock day and wake up early so you can leave the ship early. And before you visit other Greek islands, be sure you tap or click the screen here to watch this video. Thank you. This is Brian and
Mrs. Tips.
For Cruisers. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share so you don't have to explain all this information to them.
We'll see you in the next video.
I'm hungry.